Oh, right. Let's get into this. Get in there, Spurs. Get in there. We've beaten Southampton 3-1. What an incredible game. An incredible performance. I was so completely wrong about Ange Postecoglou. I'm very, very sorry. Amazing. What a game. The Spurs go marching on into Frankfurt. Um, yeah, I won't be as churlish and sarcastic as that for the whole thing. Bye bye, Southampton. Bye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. I hate Southampton. Always have done. Really don't like them. They're gone. Relegated from the Premier League, I think. Anyway, one of the worst. One of the worst Premier League sides of all time. Statistically, I believe. Don't know. You can just make stuff up on the internet nowadays. It doesn't really matter. So I'll say that and I'll go with that. What a boring game of football. Oh, yeah, as Grant Ecosonics pointed out here as well, Ramsdale gets relegated as well. Lovely. Lovely touch. Lovely touch. Yeah, just eh, is what it is, isn't it? We won. Good. Glad we did. I do get these demon and sorry to say it, you do get these sometimes these devilish thoughts of like the chaos brain takes over and you think, God, imagine if we lost today. And you kind of get drawn to that. Well, surely we can't actually lose to Southampton. But what if we do? What happens? Does he get sacked? Who takes over for Frankfurt? But then when you get to the actual game, it's like, yeah, I can't. Of course, I want Spurs to win, and we did. We did the most base possible thing that was expected of us, which is to beat the bottom side in the Premier League, one of the worst Premier League teams of all time. And we did that in a rather unconvincing fashion, I would say, this afternoon. I imagine it's hard for the players, as people will say, to get up for a game like that. You know, surely you kind of want to be, I don't know, making a case for the fact that you're not useless, that you deserve a place in the team, all that type of thing. I don't know. It was just a boring game, wasn't it? Boring game, not an awful lot to talk about. I heard some of my mates messaging me now who were at the game just being like, just terrible. One of the sort of most bizarre games they've been to in quite some time. Stuff of the protests looked good. Lots of videos of the protests and all that sort of thing before the match, wasn't there? So nice to hear people. They were following up after the goal by singing by the second goal, singing "We Want Levy Out." So all in all, an interesting and fun afternoon had by all. I suppose a little thing that was probably rankled somewhat is when the team sheet got announced. There wasn't a lot more experimentation with there. Sonny starting on the left again. No starting place for Mathys Tel, which is kind of strange, isn't it? You'd think that you'd want, if you are rotating, and if you have noticed that Sonny is, I don't know. I could look. To be fair, I know I've been digging out Ange a lot. To be fair, you can kind of see the logic, can't you? Of let's give Sonny a game against Southampton where he can maybe get a couple of goals, and that can kind of, you know, get his confidence back and all that sort of thing. Before, I'm not saying Sonny's confidence is lacking, but we've all been talking about how he's not been quite the same, has he? Maybe a game against a team like Southampton's a chance to get a bit of form back into Sonny and see him be something of the sort of the force that he was going into a huge game like Frankfurt. So I can kind of see it, but equally at the same time, it's disappointing, isn't it, to not see Tel start a game like that, to see him get more of an opportunity. Z- Zeros and Ones says Ange Masterclass, Doom is in the mud. Stephen King says, Jack, request, please publish a calendar a la Calendar Girls with shots from your episode thumbnails. I want today's one on my birthday month in October, please, Tar. Wouldn't you? I mean, I can do that, Steve. I've actually had an idea for my thumbnails come the end of the season. But what I could do, Stephen, is if you prefer, is I could do one of the proper Calendar Girls thing. I've got my Hoover in the background. If you are watching the stream, I've got my Hoover in the background. Actually, how embarrassing! I haven't moved that before I started. I can do all that sort of thing, can I? With me, shots of me in the nude, but just all the unmentionable parts being covered by things like a Hoover or one of me gardening, of a plant pot placed in the way, all that type of stuff. The real kind of parish fate parish fate calendar that's delivered with a bit of cheek in more ways than one. I'll take commissions. Wes Johnson says Aaron Ramsdale conceding goals will never not bring a smile. COYS. Yeah, I mean, you got to cling on to things like that, don't you? I like podcasts. Says Boston Spurs Supporters Club went over for this game. Oh dear God! Shout out to them, but glad I skipped it this year. I want to care again. I know what you mean. Any Boston Spurs? Shout out to the Boston Spurs doing the pilgrimage over to White Hart Lane, as I will continue to call it, like a silly old dusty gammon for many years to come. Look, yeah, I know it's not been a great season. I know it wasn't a particularly great game. Actually, a really boring game. But I'm sure it's pretty sunny, right? So I like podcasts. It's pretty sunny in the UK right now. It's a really nice spring, actually. At least in the south. Don't know what it's like everywhere else. So they've probably had a nice day out in the sun on the beers. They got to experience the kind of the protest side of things, which whether or not you agree with it or not, I mean, I think as a species, human beings, we kind of like that. Things are when they're a bit different, don't we? We're sort of drawn to chaos in certain ways. So a big sort of fan protest. Shout out to Change for Tottenham, Billy T, everyone working behind the scenes on that as well. Some more impressive scenes. I think it just shows, doesn't it? I think the thing about just a quick note on the protest. I think what this has shown is, and I still get quite a bit of blowback from this because I remember when the sort of purple and gold lot first started, and they weren't really a centralized group. Purple and gold was more of just a movement, if you like, a fairly organic movement, and it was lots of people just kind of voicing their displeasure. And I think I got into one with a few people who have taken my stance on their way of voicing their. So there are a lot of kind of things that, I'll be honest, a lot of the kind of posters and stuff about Daniel Levy, I found sort of very dog whistle anti-Semitic, right? Things about him being a parasite and all that type of stuff. And I don't think you can. I don't think you can strip. You can't strip decades of context away from things like that and say, well, that's not how we mean it. It's like, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But if it's been pointed out to you and you're not kind of sort of putting your hands up and being like, oh, fair enough, and changing it, it's not to say you can't voice your displeasure at Daniel Levy or anything like that. But I sort of, so I think I got into a few disagreements with people over certain posters and all that type of stuff, right, back in the day. But I've always maintained that if people are against something, if they get mobilized and if they stand up and they do the protests and stuff, because there were a few protests last season, weren't there? And everyone was taking a piss out of the fact there was 5 people in attendance or whatever. There's that one, isn't there, where there weren't many people there. And I've not really been jumping into that stuff. But I think what Change for Tottenham have done quite well is they've kept it fairly emotionless, which sounds quite weird to say because it's a really emotional subject, but they've kept it fairly emotionless. They've put out a sort of mission statement from the very off. They've said that they are actually an organized movement. It's not just this kind of thing that's moving in the shadows in a way that nobody really knows who's accountable for it, where any of the messaging is coming from or anything. Change to Tottenham. They've obviously gotten Billy T as like their sort of figurehead of the movement, which is good. Everybody knows Bill. Everybody knows Bill's a good guy, all that type of thing. And they've gotten organised. And look, they've got thousands of twice now. They've gotten thousands of people marching behind them, who all want to see, a difference in the way that the club is run. And that's good and fair play to them, and it's impressive to see them there doing it again. So what has come about the Boston Spurs Supporters Club? I hope they've enjoyed the protests. I hope they enjoyed the game. Hope they enjoyed a day in the sun, on the beers, or on the Diet Cokes, whatever takes you fancy, whatever tickles your pickle. Well done to Change to Tottenham. Wes Johnson says, do you think Brennan Johnson should have told Tell to do one regarding the penalty? Happy he scored, but hat tricks don't come around every week. Yeah, I was quite surprised. I was quite surprised, but again, it's what footballers are like, isn't it? Tell doesn't really care if Johnson's going to get a hat trick or not. Tell's probably thinking, well, you've scored 2 goals and you've scored loads of goals this season. It would be really nice for me to get my first Premier League goal. So it's one of those things, isn't it? Like a hat trick doesn't come around too often, but a first Premier League goal doesn't come around too often. Breaking his duck, all that type of thing. And I kind of, do you know what the thing is? What I would say is like Tell being what 19 years old. Obviously, he's obviously got the confidence to do that because I'm assuming he is the designated penalty taker or whatever while he's on the pitch. I kind of like the fact that he's able to back himself. You want that in a striker, don't you? You want like and I know we're sort of going to talk about he's not technically a striker. Look, football's changing, isn't it? We can still call him a striker and acknowledge the fact that positions and whatever are changing, and he perhaps suits a different role and things. It's just easy to call him a striker because I'm 40 years old, and that's what I call players who put the goal in the back of the net, who play at the top of the pitch. It was a shame to not see Tell start. But good to see him get a goal, and like I say, I'm sort of happy to see him back himself. But Johnson did look fuming. He looked really put out, didn't he? Hopefully that will give him a bit more fuel. Bevlar says, found a team worse than Spurs. Almost, almost unfathomable. Win's a win. Still nervous for Thursday. Yeah, I am. Like the thing is, like I said, I wasn't really that up for today. Not really that up for the rest of the Premier League. Like, let's hope we. I I think it's safe to say we're pretty much fine now. The thing I'm more nervous about in the Premier League is Liverpool losing. I didn't like seeing Liverpool lose today. 11 points ahead or not. I don't want to see that lead suddenly get chomped up over the next few games if they decide to have a bit of a wobble now at the business end of the season. But yeah, I wasn't that pumped for Spurs today, but I am still really excited about the Europa League. I really want us to put Frankfurt to the sword. Obviously, I mean, come on, goes without saying, but it's not sort of end of the season lark for me yet. While we're still in that competition, let's keep the sort of the fire and the belief alive and hope that we can do it. Yeah, looking forward to that one still. Bell Blake says we're gonna smash the championship next season. We're not gonna be there. We're not like we're fine now. We're not, aren't we? Could we? In the bad way? Could we? Will we? PG says flower handprint on your Aris. Give me a give me some more context behind that one, PG, if you're still here. I need to I need to know more what you. Oh, I know what you're saying. You're talking about my nudie calendar. We'll brainstorm that one. We'll brainstorm that one off air again. Phil recorded a pod with Phil the other day. I always enjoy recording pods with Phil. It's a nice one. I think it's kind of evergreen at the moment, so you can still go back and listen to that. There's a shade of a Southampton preview in there, but not really. It's just a kind of state of play right now. So go back and check that one out. You can listen to that wherever you listen to your podcasts and see that on YouTube. Andy Perry says, we need to enjoy today. It's our last win of the season. Don't say that, Andy. Tottenham. I am aware that the Manchester derby is coming up in a minute as well, and lots of people want to watch that. So I'll probably cut this one short to be honest today. But who have we got? So I'm just having a look at just to Andy Perry's comments. So we got obviously Frankfurt on Thursday at home, Wolves away on the Sunday, then Frankfurt, Forest at home, Liverpool away, West Ham away, Palace at home, Villa away, Brighton at home. Guys, it's a pretty tough end to the season, that isn't it? By anybody's standards. Villa fighting for top four, Forest all but guaranteed, but still fighting for top four. Liverpool going for the title. That'll be. Do you know what the thing is? That'll be the game we'll beat Liverpool, won't it? that'll be the game we'll win at Anfield. The game that hands Arsenal the title, and Ange Postecoglou gets to have his smile into the camera and walk off into the sunset. Stephen King says Tyler Dibbling looked worth every penny of that £100 million asking price. Did he? Was that? I'm assuming that was some sarcasm. I mean, it's just I get it. I get that they want a lot of money for one of their prized assets, but you can't price because Spurs aren't going to spend that, are they? Spurs are going to look to get a player that they can sell on. And I don't think many players are going to go past that 100 mil bracket. It's quite funny, wasn't it? The game sort of changed a few years back with Neymar, with Coutinho, a few of those big transfers that went through, and people were saying, "Oh, in a few years' time, players going to be going for 200 million and stuff." But it kind of calmed down a bit, didn't it? It feels like for now, anyway, 100 mil is the very, very, very upper bracket, and when you consider that players like Gyökeres are going to go for about 80 million pounds, I think you probably even get like Alexander Isak for. I mean, they probably want about 100 mil, but slightly less than maybe you could get him for. No one's going to spend that on Tyler Dibbling, are they? And maybe that's why Southampton are doing that. But no, is what it is, isn't it? Spurs have won today. Fine. Good. Nice one, lads. Glad we did. We've always got to be happy. But we're Spurs fans at the end of the day, aren't we? That's the thing. You're a Spurs fan at the end of the day. Yes, you're a bit disgruntled with Ange Postecoglou, but still Spurs fans. We still want to see Spurs doing their best, winning a game. We're not, I mean, I don't think we're mathematically free of relegation. So, I mean, we probably are now. I don't know. I'm awful at it. I can never work this crap out. But let's have a look. I want to know when Liverpool can mathematically win the league as well. I'm just trying to work it out now. So Spurs. So games. So we need to reach 42 points because only Ipswich can only reach. Sorry, it took me a while, but Ipswich can only reach 41 points. Yeah, I mean we're safe. We're safe. We're safe. We need 5 points. We need 5 points, and that also works on the assumption that Ipswich win every single one of their games, which they're not going to. But as things stand right now, we need 5 points to be mathematically 100% guaranteed that we're safe in the Premier League. But I mean, 17 points clear now. We're safe. Let's be real. We know we are. Although if anyone's going to do it, it's Tottenham. We're fine. Jask also says, after scoring 3 goals at home, I'm disappointed that Ange didn't want to hear the fans cheering. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Maybe the acoustics in the new ground are providing him that. That's yeah. Shut up. Stop going on about it, Jack. Daniel Firmage says, relief to have a win. Feels a bit like purgatory until we get past Eintracht Frankfurt. Yeah, it does. It's just a weird one, isn't it? It's a weird vibe about today. But look, we've done what we needed to do, which is to win a football match. We've stopped the rot of, I mean, our form at the moment, loss, draw, loss, and now a win. So at least we stopped the rot on that front a bit. We just want this. The thing is, it's kind of it's toiling between like I just want this season to be over, and also acknowledging that we still have some potentially huge games left in the Europa League. So I just want this Premier League season to be over, and I just want Spurs to be in the Europa League final, and I want to be looking forward to that. You know, but I'm a bit worried about Frankfurt. Very well organised team, precision attacks, knock the ball about very nicely. They're by no means one of the greatest teams on the face of the planet. Not even one of the greatest teams in the Bundesliga, but they're still a decent side. They feel like the type of side that is kryptonite for a team like Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham. But we'll see, won't we? We'll see. Let's just do it. Let's just do what we can do. Come on, you Spurs. I'm not going to do the players today. I want to go and watch the rest of the football and enjoy the rest of my afternoon. It was fine. We won. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for supporting the show. Please leave ratings. Please leave reviews. Like, subscribe, all that type of thing. There'll be more podcasts in the week. All that kind of thing. Come on, you Spurs. Up the Spurs.